God carrying us. A journey that was meant to last 11 days took them 40 years, literally going around circles, until an entire generation of 3 million people who were stiff-necked died in the wilderness. God saw that such grumbling, arrogant, proud people would be so dangerous to enter the promised land. This chapter shows us Israel's journey from Horeb towards the promised land. Only 3 people are left on the old stock: Joshua, Caleb, and Moses. All that we see now are wilderness babies. They have not been there when God parted the Red Sea. They have not been at Sinai when God gave the 10 Commandments. Now Moses takes time to recount for them the history of their fathers and how God carried them as a father carries his son. We are so close to the end of the 40 years of wilderness struggle, 40 years of sleeping under tents, 4 decades of eating the same meals night and day, 14,610 days of desert walk, 480 months of struggle, 2,080 weeks of a tough life. Moses reminds the people of how close God had brought them to the edge of Canaan, through the wilderness years, through the scorching sun, through the bitter waters, through the desert snakes. God carried them. Don't tell me that you have reached here by your own might and connections. It's been God who carried you through all the seasons, good and bad, to make you reach here. It's been God when you're so low about to give up. It was God when your mountains were too hard to climb. It was God. I still look through my rear mirror and I see the far I have come, and it has been God. As they stepped at the border of Canaan, the promised land, the challenge before them was not, can God give us the land? The challenge was, will we trust God enough to possess what He has promised? Sometimes God brings us close to the door before we feel ready to walk through it. Sometimes He brings us closer to the finish line before we could ever cross over to win. Do you feel ready to cross into a new season? Are you ready to possess what God has placed before you? Some contracts will need us to apply for them. Some offices need us to go and knock for appointments. Some clients need us to check on them. If you and I don't sleep at our stations, this could be a season of possessing what God has placed before us. Verse 22 to 25, Moses narrates how they sent spies to spy the land and bring some fruit therein. The spies returned with evidence that the land was indeed good and flowing with abundance. But the problem was not that they did not see things there. The problem was how they interpreted what they saw. Faith does not deny that there are giants in the land. Faith just refuses to make giants bigger than God. It's true, people there were stronger and taller than them, but God was bigger still. Don't tell me the size of your problem. God is bigger than the problem still. Fear magnified the enemy and minimized God. Fear made them remember the problem and forgot the testimony. It made them remember the giant and forgot the God who opened the Red Sea. Moses tried to redirect their eyes. Verse 29, Then I said to them, Dread not, neither be afraid of them. The Lord your God, which goes before you, shall fight for you according to all that He did for you in Egypt before your own eyes. Verse 31, In the wilderness you saw how God, your God, carried you as a father carries his son. See a picture of God's faithfulness. When the 3 million died, these remaining ones survived because God carried them. They arrived because God carried them. They couldn't die of anger. God's provision sustained them. The enemies could not kill them because God protected them. Can I get some people who believe that God has brought you this far because He has carried you? You struggle to smile, but you're still standing. You struggle with depression at times, but still standing. You cross over each month with loans, but you're still standing. Sometimes your only progress in a year is that you are still standing. God has carried you as a father carries a son. In the pain, we often can't see God's hand carrying us. In the sleepless nights when our burdens cannot permit us to sleep, we may not see God. When facing a deadline to lose something precious, we may not be able to see God, but God carries us. May God carry us through. May our faith be louder than our fears. May we have enough testimonies to move us forward. Don't measure the future by the size of your opposition. Don't exaggerate the enemy to seem big. Don't be afraid of greatness. God has carried you as a father carries a son. Become stubborn when facing mountains. Become stubborn when knocking at certain doors. The universe tends to rhyme with a stubborn soul. Thank you for listening, Patrick. Living Well Community.